Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about middle income toxic habits. A lot of people may think, why do I talk about middle income earners? This is a group of people who should be making it into the rich people list. But because of their bad habits, they are actually going back to poverty. People who should be improving their lives, leaving an inheritance for their children, are people who are leaving bills when they die instead of a will. There are people who are living their life in a way that will not be able to allow them to create generational wealth. If you started life with a help loan, with debt, educational loans, and debt burden, then you should not allow your children again to start with a negative. These are the people I want to talk to. You earn relatively well, but you end up achieving nothing financially. So, one of these habits that these people have is overspending on unnecessary things. Why do you have to buy things because of what you desire as luxurious as opposed to what it is serving you? You want to buy a car. Why do you have to buy a four-wheel drive to drive mostly in the city, use a lot more fuel, use a lot more insurance, and will not actually not use it where it is supposed to be, which is going off-road? Why do you touch a car? You just need something to take you from point A to point B reliably and safely. The other things are just flowers. But more than not, people are buying big, expensive cars. If a $3,000 or 300,000 Kenya shillings car can take you from point A to point B, why should you go for a 3 million worth of a car to do the same thing? Overspending on unnecessary things. There are people who go out and buy things because they are in this location, in this fancy mall, not necessarily because they meet a particular need in their lives. Unnecessary spending on unnecessary things. People who go in a supermarket and buy something because it is imported, it has to be better, when there are local alternatives that could be a lot cheaper. Designer clothes, latest gadgets. You line up in an iPhone shop to buy the latest iPhone, which in the next 8 months will actually be 50% cheaper than it is now as you line up, wasting your time to waste your money. Unnecessary things, eating out, dining in fancy places. In fact, a lot of places that you eat out are more for enjoying the ambience, the air, the fresh air that you could otherwise enjoy eating a cheaper meal. But you want to go on fancy dinners instead of investing in the future of you and your dependents. The other problem is relying on debt. It's a toxic habit number 2. Relying on debt to maintain a lifestyle. A lot of middle income people spend a lot of money on credit cards. You go out, you swipe. You go out, you swipe on credit. You spend money that you do not already have. Let us take an example of a country. If a country is entering into debt, not to invest or build roads, but taking debt to pay salaries, taking debt to meet its recurrent expenditure, when will it have enough to invest and have overall return that is going to enable this country have an increased budget allocation or more money to be able to meet its need? A lot of people are doing the same with some of the most mismanaged governments. You live paycheck to paycheck because money that is coming is going out in debt repayments, debt upon debt upon debt. And remember, if you have too much debt, you start accumulating even bad debt. You start with reasonable good debt, loans, normal loans, averagely priced loans. Then as you take more debt to cover more debt, you start entering into the bad debt. Then you end up being imprisoned. Never allow yourself be imprisoned by money. Take charge of your money. And the easiest way to be imprisoned is to take debt to finance a cycle of normal things. We should not take debt to pay school fees for your children. You should not take debt to eat. You should not take debt to eat out. You should not take debt to buy TVs and cars, unnecessarily expensive cars and things like that. Only take debt that makes sense, not consumption debt. The other behavior, bad behavior that people have is, of course, living paycheck to paycheck. Why do you have to spend all the money that you earn? You have to use everything that you have. The problem with eating everything that you have is becoming because you become vulnerable to any shocks. If your employer decides that, oh, we are not making enough money, we need to cut down on salaries, what will you do if every cent that you have you use? What will you do if, for example, you're already in a debt situation and the interest rates go up? Any shocks, economic shocks within the system, within your company, within the organization will affect you directly. You're unable to progress on your financial goals if all the money you're having is going to the pockets of your renters, is going to the pockets of electricity and bills and food and fuel. You have nothing left at the end of the day. Living paycheck to paycheck is a toxic habit that most middle income earners make. You earn a little bit more, then you increase your overall lifestyle. You have a 5% increase in your salary, and then you increase expenses by 10%. Why? Do you have to move houses just by having a 5% increase in salary? Maintain the same level of expenses and have a little bit more going towards your investment. The other thing is financial education is not prioritized. People want to be entertained. They want to follow musicians who are doing funny things, dressing funny ways. They want to just be entertained and be happy, watch movies the whole day, but they will not prioritize financial education. Everything that you do not put time and effort to learn is something that is going to be a lot more difficult to do. Financial literacy is not obvious. It is not spoken about. People do not just learn financial literacy. You don't wake up and your school decides to teach about financial literacy. Maybe it is systematic so that not everyone is knowledgeable enough and has the power to create wealth. So that the wealth that is already there is owned by a few who now can control the masses. I don't know. But because financial education is not obvious, you have to take the time to learn about it. Learning about interest rates, about investments, about diversification may be a little bit boring, but it is essentially important for you to learn. But the toxic habit of avoiding such education is unnecessary. In my channel, I have posted so many videos to help people learn about their finances, improve their lives. But a comedian who is speaking about nothing and is actually not even creative will have more views than me because the priorities of the middle class and most people are in entertaining themselves. What does it profit a man to laugh the whole day yet become poor financially when they go into retirement? Prioritize financial education. The other thing is insufficient saving and investing. You do not save and invest enough. If you are investing less than 20%, you are joking. Yes, less than 20%, you are joking. If you're not putting aside 20% or more of your income towards investment, then you are joking. It means if you are saving only 5%, it means that your replacement income in retirement at 60 will actually be less than 70%. So if you're used to a lifestyle of 100,000, you do not want to change your lifestyle when you go into retirement, you can only have 70,000 if you invest 5%. And that is assuming that you invest consistently, continuously. But most people don't do this. But if you invest 20%, then you're most likely going to assure that by the age of 50, then you can be able to meet 80% of your expenses should job come to an end. By the time you're retiring at 60, you are safe and can even actually meet the inflation, increased inflation at that time, increased medical bills at that time. But most people do not save or invest enough. You do not do me a favor by saving and investing. You do yourself a favor. You can either live large now or live large now and poorly in the future, or live poorly now and large in the future. Because remember, when you're older, you cannot be able to plan these things. So you need to plan them now. And this goes to the next point, which is they do not plan for retirement. You need to plan for retirement. You will not be energetic enough. You will not have as many job opportunities. You will not even be in a state of mind to do more work. You need to think about what am I going to do in the future, and especially as regards to income. As an African, we have resorted, most of us, to going to our children begging for bread. asking them and coercing them and manipulating them to be able to provide us an income. Our children have become our retirement package. This should not be the case. You should be able to plan for your retirement. Toxicity in our financial habits is keeping us from planning for our retirement. Like it or not, the most sure things in life is that you're getting older, you will die, and you will have to pay your taxes or go in prison. Those are some of the surest things on this earth. So ensure that you're not caught in the wrong side of your finances when you get into retirement. Plan for your retirement. Ignoring your retirement is like an ostrich which hides its head in the sand, yet the lion still has access to its thighs. Do not be that kind of person. The other problem is a lot of our people are not diversifying their investments. You talk to a few friends here and there, and the most that they are doing is buying pieces of land here, there, and everywhere. You have 200 pieces of land, small pieces of land distributed across the country. But all of these pieces of land are not generating you value. So you have assets, but they are in one class, which is physical, which cannot be easily made into cash. They cannot even be made into passive income for yourselves. Should anything happen, should you have any challenge in your finances, then it becomes a lot more difficult for you to be able to improve yourselves as a person. So ensure that you diversify your income and be able to bring some investments that are going to generate some value in terms of passive income, in terms of cash flow for yourself. The other thing is a lot of people are involved in emotional spending. You have conflict with your boss. Maybe they are saying that your work is not up to par. So the first thing that you do is go down the street and buy a new pair of shoes. You purchase things because of your emotional state, or you are too happy, your salary has come in, you're too happy, you end up buying something that is unnecessary. You treat your friends at a bar and say, I don't want to see this table not covered by drinks. You put a lot of money and buy a lot of things because of your emotional state. In fact, if you're too emotional, try to take some time off before you do anything. Try to resolve your emotions without using money. Don't make money and your emotions have any parallel or opposite relationship. That when you're happy over spending, when you're fearful, you don't even want to eat or use any of your money. Keep emotions away from your spending, because when emotions come in, your rational judgment runs out of the door. So keep your emotions intact in your desire to be more financially prudent. The other thing is failing to negotiate. My friends, anything is negotiable. If you are being employed, you can always ask for a bigger salary. You can always ask not to have a probation period. You can always ask not to have this and that. You can always ask for more leave days. You can always ask for everything. As long as you have not committed and signed, it's negotiable. You go to a shop, you can always negotiate and say, I want a price for this and this and this. You might be surprised that maybe they were struggling with offloading a certain item. And when you came, at least one sale is better than not having any sale. So ensure that you're able to do that as a person, that you negotiate on your terms, on your contracts, on anything that is on offer. If you're buying a car or a house, negotiate. Do not offer do not accept every offer that has been provided. Because remember, a seller wants to sell something at the highest possible price, and the employer wants to offer you the lowest possible salary. So you have to make good value for the money that you already have. The other thing that you need to understand is you need to financially plan. A lot of people don't do financial plans. You need to have a long-term plan. You need to have a short-term plan. You need to have a middle-term plan. Planning, not planning, is the same as planning to fail. So if you do not have any plan, then your money does not follow your plans to help you meet financial objectives. Your money is just loitering around. Your money in your bank account is waiting for any emotions to come, or for any other person's emergency to come to use the money that you already have. Have a plan for every amount of money that you have. Even if you're going to save and invest, ensure this saving has a plan. You're putting it somewhere. You're not having money in your pocket. In fact, it has been noted that people who who have a tendency to carry all their credit cards everywhere and who have a tendency to have a lot of cash in their pocket are more likely to spend more money than people who do not have, because consciously you see the limitations of your money not to buy anything and everything that you need. But if you're the kind of person who has 10,000, 20,000 in your pocket every time, you are likely going to be the kind of person who is going to spend more money. Do not have a lot of cash flow with you every time. Have cash flow that is coming periodically to meet your needs and expenses, and money that has been put aside and packed in a way that is going to create value for yourself. I hope that you're learning, you're growing, and becoming better in your financial journey. Remember to subscribe to the channel, to leave a comment down in the comment section, and tell me that you are listening and you are enjoying these videos. Thank you and enjoy your day.